Alright, here we go. This is a 1v1 on Duel between Punktronica in the upper left-hand corner on the blue side, and DontWorry in the bottom right-hand corner on the red side. DontWorry going with the Bomber, and Punktronica going with the Levelers, going with a Steampunk Osprey, and he is going with 2 Levelers on the field, and the rest are taken by Moneymakers. There are no generators yet. DontWorry is going with a normal Moneymaker build, and it has a pre-built one, actually. It does set off all the mines, and Punktronica is just going with, oh, he had infantry in queue. This is kind of interesting. This is not really typical what you would see on Duel unless he is going for a ninja, and he is going for a forward rush here. He does have 4 infantry. Let's see if DontWorry responds in time. But the thing is, DontWorry is a bomber, so he probably will be able to take these down very quickly. Oh, but he doesn't drop to kill them, but they will neutralize this outpost. If I were DontWorry, I really would have tried to just kill those infantry as fast as possible, so I wouldn't have to worry about that outpost being, having to retake it. But Punktronica is putting a lot of jackals over here, putting a lot of jackal pressure on this forward power station. And DontWorry, it actually has been able to clean them all up with using his own melee and those dillos. This close does get retaken, and DontWorry is cleaning up these jackals, attacking them, and almost kills them. Punktronica has not hit level 2 yet, so he does not have heal. So he kind of is at a disadvantage. DontWorry already hitting level 2 because of all those unit kills he's gotten from all of Punktronica's dropped jackals. And now, oh, Punktronica does get taken down by DontWorry on his way back there. I would have expected him to Viking dance a little bit, but DontWorry, especially because DontWorry is a bomber, but he was not able to. He does respawn pretty quickly because it is very early game. DontWorry going straight for a Moneymaker. Punktronica picking it up, saving it, but these infantry still are firing into this outpost. It will go neutral, and I don't think he will be able to get 4. He will be not able to get. Only able to get 2 infantry actually, and these jackals will knock the rest of the fault down. Punktronica, oh, but DontWorry is bringing more infantry over, and this outpost has not been able to go back to blue yet, and he is not stopping. He is actually bringing the infantry over to that forward, but Punktronica is there with the defensive jackals, and again just infantry spam. DontWorry is and queuing up more. Does go down to Punktronica on the way out. Was flying over that gorge there, so he was not able to land to get away from his fire. But Punktronica killing this Dillo from behind, just using whatever respawn time DontWorry is taking, and he does get that. He is getting that salvage. That Punktronica really famous for that. Not famous, but really using a lot of really using that Osprey for the salvage quite often, but does get killed by DontWorry there. And DontWorry cleaning up these jackals, gonna get this Moneymaker kill before Punktronica respawns. No, he doesn't kill the Moneymaker. He doesn't decide to finish off the Moneymaker. He was going for that outpost, and as a result, Punktronica has been able to save his Moneymaker, but he is knocking down bulbs pretty quickly. He has 2 down already, but he is less than half his life left, and is getting shot by Punktronica. Now he is going for the forward Moneymakers, and will get followed here by Punktronica. Does get taken out, and Punktronica now has an opening to use these jackals. He is just going to put him down defensively though, so he's not using his opening while DontWorry is respawning in an offensive way, like a lot of people, including, I mean, I would have expected him to use it in an offensive way to just, maybe spam infantry or drop more jackals at the forward or something like that of DontWorry. So, but now the fight for mid is finally starting. Punktronica dropping a leveler did look like a red Archie there for a quick second, because this replay stuff is still a little bit. We are in beta, people. We are in beta. But Punktronica, finishing reinforcing his outpost, bunkering infantry there. Doesn't have any bunkered infantry on the forward yet, but neither does DontWorry, and I don't think he actually has any here either. DontWorry doing a quick pass, doing a little whatever bombing he can. Punktronica is not going to be able to thwart him away, or chase him down and kill him. And now DontWorry, look at all these artillery. He already has 5 artillery and plenty of seekers to protect them, and Punktronica is not even a bomber. Oh, but did take down DontWorry there, and Punktronica again with another kill. And now he doesn't have as much up as DontWorry. He obviously in terms of artillery count, but he does have quite a lot of Dillos on the field. does have a lot of Jackals in the field as well. Don't Worry doesn't actually even have Jackals in queue, something you don't really see that much. A lot of players are bringing Jackals nowadays, ever since everyone has realized that they are super cost efficient. Anyway, yeah, so this outpost was blue for a quick second, but does get neutralized, and Don't Worry getting killed again from Punktronica, and now Punktronica, I'm pretty sure he will use this as more of an offensive opening, and he will start bringing more. No, I guess because he is the Osprey, and you know, I'm really used to seeing him play Bomber, and just every time he just goes straight for the kill and goes straight for just as much aggression as possible. Don't Worry, bringing Dillos out of his middle that he's able to finally take, and he's gonna kill these infantry. It looked like they were gonna be able to neutralize it, but before he got all the Dillos out of his queue, but he is able to drop all 5 Dillos over here, those Dillos are protected by all this artillery fire, and now Punktronica is a little bit behind. He really needs to start putting down more attacking units than these defensive Jackals, just because Don't Worry is being so aggressive, and you know, the defensive Jackals are really more for defending against light pushes and infantry drops, you know, just for the most part. And now Punktronica putting a lot of artillery over here, but no anti-air to defend against the Bomber is really bad, especially since they're all clumped up. Even though he is an Osprey to heal, Don't Worry he is a little pinned down, but I think if he just moves back, he should be able to own it, and he is just waiting for his life to regen. Punktronica losing life from that Jackal and losing energy from his fire. Don't Worry getting everything back on the floor, and Punktronica is, and he does drop, but you know, cliff walk off, but Don't Worry is able to get away before Punktronica finishes him off. But now Punktronica has, actually, I thought he had a lot more artillery on the field, which he does not. He did lose a few to Don't Worry's attack earlier, but he does have a lot of Dillos. He has, and all the neutrals have been cleared here, but Don't Worry is way ahead with all of the units that he has sitting on the other side of this outpost, and he will be able to take this with this infantry drop. And now, I don't know, I mean, Punktronica is kind of behind, and now Don't Worry gonna do some double bombing, something that we see a lot now from Bombers, he will be able to take quite a lot out, especially since there is no anti-air over here. Punktronica is not, and he doesn't actually, Punktronica doesn't even have any anti-air in his loadout. I guess Punktronica just is relying on his own dogfighting to be able to thwart whatever this Bomber is going to be able to try to dish out. He actually, Don't Worry lands in front of all these Dillos, which obviously it would kill him pretty quickly, but takes quite a lot out in that, you know, in that drop, in that short attack that he was able to do with that suicide bomber attack. And now respawning, Punktronica was forced to salvage. He really needed to get whatever he could out of that, and now Don't Worry taking out these side artillery. Just, you know, great experience for any bomber to just go over there and kill as much as he can. Punktronica selling off levelers because he finally has hit level 7, is gonna start queuing up Goliaths, but Don't Worry, gonna do a quick armadillo drop. I'm not really sure. Oh, I did miss this. He is setting a lot of armadillos over here to the he set a couple to capture, and he set the rest to attack. So it is splitting Punktronica's attention, but Punktronica has this Goliath on the front door, and he is gonna, Punktronica has another, bringing a Dillo, but that Dillo is almost dead, and he will go down pretty quick, Don't Worry. Even though Punktronica is here, he is taking quite a lot of damage, and he's forced to put those Goliaths defensively rather than offensively. And now, you know, there is a lot of pressure going down. Don't Worry has sent Dillos everywhere. Now Punktronica is forced to split his attention even more than I thought. I thought it was just between 2 locations, but these Dillos have been able to neutralize this outpost, and the fort threat has been thwarted. It's obviously with those Goliaths it was going to happen, but now Don't Worry is just really ahead because he's been able to put so much pressure on so many different fronts, and he's able to clean up a lot with this Bomber. It's just so much, you know, Punktronica really needs to do a lot of unit support with this Osprey. I mean, which I guess he kind of is, but he's really leaving the battlefield way too much just because of all this all this attack going down, because of you know, just because of Don't Worry's you know, brilliant sending back and forth. Punktronica now putting another Goliath down in defense, but actually using them to push. I think he's probably setting these to capture because it's you know, just it's a little too optimistic, honestly, to think that they could do any real damage at the fort. And sending them to, no, actually, because this outpost was neutral, sending them to capture would have sent them there instead, but he had, I guess he was forced to send them on attack just so he could route them the way he needs to route them. But punktronica really is on the ropes here. DontWorry already has his forward, and punktronica is just trying to keep this close outpost. And he is able to kill all the units that DontWorry has sent, and now DontWorry has to deal with these 5 Goliaths that are coming straight for his this middle, and DontWorry doing the bombs, and obviously not that strong against Goliath's bombs, just because Goliaths are incredibly. Oh, DontWorry killing punktronica on his way out there, and he will be able to clean this up pretty well. So now punktronica is not here. He is dead. He's not able to you know, pick these Goliaths up and set them down where he wants them to be. When I would assume that he was going to try to station them around mid instead of having them go all the way to the fort. And he is bringing them back. He is leaving 1 at mid. There are still 3 alive out of those 5, so that is still quite a good number. But punktronica going down again to DontWorry, and DontWorry's going to be able to completely finish off these Goliaths, and just because he was able to take out punktronica, he's able to pretty much use this push to get punktronica way behind in economy, just because all of punktronica's pretty much all of punktronica's credits were invested in those Goliaths. This small dillo drop really isn't doing anything, and DontWorry was able to clean it up very quickly, and punktronica trying to just put as much pressure as he can with these dillos, but it's not actually, it's just really free XP for DontWorry to clean up, and punktronica really trying to sell these moneymakers off, or these levelers off, because he really doesn't need the experience anymore since hitting level 7, but DontWorry is already level 8, but actually does not have Goliaths in his loadout. And probably Punk kind of figured that already just by seeing his level and not seeing any Goliaths. DontWorry going with Dillos. So what actually is going to happen here is if punktronica can mass enough Goliaths, which DontWorry does not have in his loadout, he will be able to do a very effective counter push. You know, to whatever DontWorry sends to punktronica's fort. Just as long as he turtles with these Goliaths, he can make an insanely strong counter push. But there are too many Dillos out here. Punktronica forced to make Dillos instead of Goliath just so he can get this defense off, so he doesn't get finished off. DontWorry really aggressively attacking here. Punktronica trying to finish him off, but I don't know. I think there's something wrong with his controls because he has been a little bit weird right now lately. But you know, dropping the Dillos, blocking with this you know, he hasn't been able to make Goliaths because he has to defend, and Goliaths build way too slow, and he really needs this wall that's created, and he is actually going to get a lot of money out of this, out of all these Dillos being salvaged. But he does have to chase down DontWorry because he doesn't have any anti-air. So you know, that choice of not bringing any anti-air is really hurting punktronica right now, just because he is up against the bomber. And now another Dillo push for punktronica's front door is not really going to be able to kill that much, but you know, it will cause a lot more trouble for punktronica, and DontWorry can really afford to throw away much more credits than punktronica can, just because he's so far ahead economically. This outpost control is giving him quite a lot more credits than punktronica. And punktronica trying to heal up what he can. It's really that, and the problem is that is preventing him from making a good solid wall. And there are 4 Bertha firing into this clump. Punktronica is forced to push out because if he turtled, he probably would have been. There probably would have been nothing that he was able to do at that point. And DontWorry finishing off these Armadillo coming for his outpost. And at this point, I don't see a way back for punktronica, even though he doesn't even have his last down outpost. It has been neutralized with 3 blue bulbs back up, but now there are nothing but Dillos coming over for DontWorry, and this will be GG, and punktronica has left the game. This was a ranked match apparently, since it was ended right now, and punktronica does go down to DontWorry in this 1v1 ranked match. And that was That was a lot of pressure going down by DontWorry that entire match, splitting punktronica back and forth from outpost to outpost. This is RUI, and that's game. See you next time.